Hi, I'm Barry.
I'm Sharon.
And we purchased a trailer dolly.
We did?
Yes, we did.
All right.
And you might ask why.
Yeah, why?
We've got the answer.
In a minute.
No, right now. I'm going to tell you right now.
Okay, right now.
So we put in a brand new driveway to expand it to be able to, I'm just drawing a blank. So before we bought the Airstream, we put in a brand new driveway. We expanded it to make room for the Airstream, which is beautiful, nice, plenty of room. However...
Oh, the driveway or the Airstream?
Both.
Yeah.
However, we've got a really big F-250 with big tires.
Yeah.
And maneuvering that into the driveway literally tears up the new asphalt.
Oh, those tires, they're like
35
off-road tires, so they have big fat knobs on them, and that is not...
So when you turn the steering wheel, when you're standing still, it just kind of goes...
Just
It leaves marks. So I saw on the good old intranet stuff,
the interwebs.
I saw a trailer dolly, and I'm like, oh, hey, this could be our solution.
That could be.
Long story short, we did a lot of research. There's only about 3 manufacturers out there.
Give or take. I mean, some are super, like way too expensive and completely unnecessary. And then some are
gas powered. I don't want a gas powered one.
Well, also some were like hand crank.
Oh, yes.
Like, who wants that?
Yes.
Who wants to?
One is actually a hand crank. And I posted on Facebook a video of that. I'm like, you watch this video, you will not buy it.
But some people were like, I just love mine. Like, okay.
Yeah.
You do you.
Anyway, we ended up purchasing the Park-It 360.
Yes.
It's the 10,000 pound capacity one.
Yes.
Our travel trailer is 6,800 pounds, I believe, fully loaded. So we're good.
What was the tongue weight on our trailer?
It's roughly 10%, so a little over 600 pounds.
Yeah.
And this unit will do 900 pounds tongue weight.
What other specs you got?
It's cool. So it's not the cheapest, but the reason I went with this version, so they've got 3 different variations with the 10,000 pound capacity. You've got your baseline that has no battery with it or anything. We got the middle of the line one, which for $250 more gets you a battery to run it, so you don't have to use the battery on the travel trailer. Right. And it gets you the smart brake controller. That to me is like super important.
That actually made me feel a lot more comfortable pushing around the 6,800 pound trailer with a dolly.
Yeah.
That there's a brake.
So that's why we ended up going with that. The price was $1,950. It's about average for the other competitors. I mean, it was about the same.
Right.
Free shipping, no sales tax because it comes out of Canada. And we live in Maryland, and it took less than a week, and we got it in the mail.
Right.
So this weekend we used it for the very first time. And we'll probably show a little bit of video of that.
Yeah.
Wow. It's so exciting.
So we have a bunch of video, and Barry basically at the wheel, if you will, and showing how we pulled it out of where it was. So it was parked basically in line with the driveway and right behind my garage door. So it was super tricky to get my car out of the garage for the last few months. It wasn't
the best spot. Plus there was a slope front to back and a slope left to right. Yeah. So we really had to brace it up to make it level.
Yeah, we had to use the Anderson levels to keep it level, and then we had to, it was a lot. I mean, it was not, what it was.
We're going to show you the video. It's really quick, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about lessons learned. Stay tuned.
did you think? What were your first impressions?
First impressions, it was well worth every cent. Absolutely.
Why?
It did the job. And it was really effortless. I mean,
Yeah.
it was super easy to use. So I'll talk about the good points, bad points, lessons learned, all that good stuff. And it's just kind of all over the place. So first of all, one of the features that I like of it that I didn't think I would need was it has 2 speeds, a low and a high. That comes in handy. You may not think it does, but it comes in handy. I'll give you an example. So this will handle a 6% grade. A 6% grade is a hill. Our driveway is maybe 1%. So a 6%, I don't know if I'd try it. It says it can handle it. However, going down the driveway in high gear, it gets momentum. Don't get me wrong, it's not fast. But when you put it in low speed, it really locks the gear and it's like a brake. It just goes down nice and slow.
It appeared that it was just easier to control when you put it in low speed down a hill.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, would that be fair?
Yeah. The difference is it just takes a little bit more time.
Yeah.
So the hookup, super simple. Super, super simple. Love the smart brake controller. I mean, you'll see in the video, I actually am moving it. I'll stop and I'll walk away from it to look around it and stuff. You don't have to worry about it. It stops. It stops the brakes on your RV. It locks them. So the setup was super simple, literally really easy. The movement, the only hard part is, and it depends on the ground that you're on. Asphalt, dirt, gravel. On asphalt, you have to put a little bit of pull into it because remember there's 600 pounds of tongue weight and you've got to maneuver, you'll see in the video, you've got to maneuver the trailer, the dolly, so you have to give it some pull. On gravel it'd be super easy, but we're on asphalt. Let's see, what else do you remember that?
You have to make sure that the hitch, what do they call that?
I'd have to look up.
So basically, what you saw us do, or you saw Barry do, is you install their hitch ball onto your hitch, right, and then you screw it in really, really tight. And then you use a bar to really crank it and screw it really hard. If you're just going straight, no problem, right? But when you're turning, so Barry was turning it back and forth to try to get it into position so that then he could turn it back into that perpendicular spot that we wanted it to be in. And you have to make sure, because that can loosen. And so periodically you're going to want to check that it's not loosened and tighten that back up.
I mean, and so a good lesson learned, easy to fix. On one of the forums that I was looking at, somebody just ripped the Park at 360. If you value your life, you don't want to get one of these.
It's a little extreme.
So I'd have to say it's probably because he didn't tighten it and he didn't check it throughout. And if it's loose, there's a little bit of play in it. And I noticed that. It wasn't a big deal.
No.
But then after we detached it, I realized, if you're going to do a lot of turns, it'll loosen up the grip on the ball, and you just need to tighten a little bit.
Right, and there's no big deal just stopping, tighten it back up, and then continue on. It felt very stable.
One of the things I learned also is your tongue. We're new at RVing.
The foot.
The foot for your
on the jack.
You were really
one of those things.
The foot on the jack.
The thing on the thing on the thing.
Anyway, if you turn it too sharp, the parquet, it'll start to rub on the tire. But that's pretty extreme, turning it.
I think that was the thing that a couple times he noticed that as he was really cranking it all the way, in
to one side,
like 90-degree angle to the actual A-frame, that if the hitch or if the jack foot was right in line with the tires, it would touch the tires and rub on the tires. So you had to either lift the jack all the way up so that the foot clears the tires, or bring it down just so that there's enough
Right.
room underneath it, so it's not going to rub on any slopes. But, you know, I mean, tires are round, so it's got to be either above or below the arc of the tire so that it doesn't rub when you're turning it really hard.
And when we initially did it, I put the jack all the way up, and it still rubbed a little bit when I was turning it pretty sharp. But now that after thinking about it, I would just put, like you said, I would put the jack about 2 inches up
From the ground.
From the ground, instead of bringing it all the way up. I just bring it just enough.
Right,
so. Because
that would do the same thing, and it might even clear it better.
Yeah.
So so everybody else always wants to hear, like, what are the pros, what are the cons? What are the cons? Like, what did you absolutely not like about it? It's sort of a loaded question.
Well, I mean, it did exactly what I wanted it to do. So again, first impression, I'm completely happy with it. Again, you get a couple of naysayers out there, but it's like with any other product. You're only going to hear the bad stuff. The people who may not have used it correctly. And in particular, one gentleman went ahead and purchased the
Air Tug.
Air Tug, super expensive.
Holy Moses, those things are really expensive.
But he purchased a 15K one.
Instead of the 10K?
Instead of the 10K. So
it's not, you're not comparing the same capacity at that point.
I mean, imagine pulling a 6,800 pound trailer with a 10 pound capacity, 10,000 pound, and then you go to a 15,000. It's going to be so much easier.
His trailer was even longer. He had a 27-foot trailer, so.
There is no cons that I can tell. None whatsoever.
Yeah, I think the only comment that you made, because I was listening while I was videotaping. See, I'm old, so I videotape with my phone. That's so funny. The only comment that you made was, I wonder if the battery didn't get charged completely, or something like that. You're like, I wonder if I didn't charge the battery all the way up. And that was way towards the end of us moving it into place.
So the battery's supposed to last 4 hours or something. I mean, who's going to be moving something for 4 hours, quite honestly?
So I would say that we're both pretty happy with it. I watched the entire thing while I was videoing how Barry did all of this. I was sort of being like the eyes on the other side of the trailer kind of thing. And it didn't look complicated or difficult at all. It was way easier than trying to maneuver a truck backwards to try to get into this. But we never would have gotten it into this space.
Oh my God. Would have been divorced.
Well, I don't know about that. I probably would have beaten him severely, but so.
Yeah. So it's worth it. So a couple more things that I just thought about. First of all, the weight. I don't remember what the specs is, but it is. Huh?
It's heavy.
No, it's not heavy. No, especially if you take the battery off. If you take the battery off, I could lift it into the back of our truck. Right. One of the things I learned too is, so it's got a high and a low gear, but you can disengage it. And when I first took it out of the garage and brought it over to the Airstream, I put it in high gear.
It was like slow walking it.
I could have just disengaged the gear and just pushed it over.
Rolled it. Yeah.
Newbie.
Yeah. Which is funny. And you said that afterwards. You're like, wow, you know what I should have done?
Yeah.
But that was funny. I mean.
So again.
It's the thing. You learn stuff as you do it.
The 10,000 pound capacity one is probably what the majority of people would purchase.
Yeah.
Again, for $250 difference, you get the battery. The battery was not a big deal because if you get the lower end version for $1,700, you get the cables where you just hook up to your travel trailer battery.
Yep.
You just run off that. I mean, that's perfectly acceptable.
Sure.
But for the $250, you get that smart brake controller. And to me, that is just a no-brainer for safety. I mean, I can't imagine not having the brake controller. What would you do if you needed to? I mean, so it's got
Panic?
gears. It's got gears within the dolly itself. There's gears to stop it, but if you've got some momentum,
I kind of feel like you couldn't stop that thing from rolling down a big hill.
That I would not be comfortable.
So, what do you think it would be safe to say that up to say like the 25? We're talking about we're talking about Airstreams. We know more about Airstreams than other travel trailers, but like say maybe up to a 25-foot trailer, the 10,000 pound capacity would be, or the 10,000 pound capacity would be sufficient. But over that, you're gonna want to go to the 15,000 pound capacity, even if your trailer is not 15,000 pounds, simply because you're gonna want that extra capability. It's just like you don't tow with a half-ton, you don't tow a 15,000 pound trailer with a half-ton truck, even if your truck says that it can. It's really, the truck is underpowered. So you'd want to overpower your dolly as well.
You want more capacity than you need.
Yeah, because that's just the smart thing to do. You want an overpowered tow vehicle, you want an overpowered dolly, you want to make sure that it's not struggling. Neither vehicle should be struggling. Look, here's the thing. If you were just moving something around on a flat surface and you never had any dips, you never had any hills, you didn't have a slope off the far end of your driveway where it could potentially just roll all the way back into the woods.
Would that not be cool?
It would stay there. we'd have to get heavy equipment to get it out. Yeah, maybe. You just need to hit that limit. But if you have any kind of terrain, and quite frankly, most people that have RVs do have some kind of terrain. You got some kind of slope, you got some kind of dips, you have some kind of obstacle that you, and the whole reason that you look at a trailer dolly is because there is an obstacle that's preventing you from getting your trailer into the spot with your tow vehicle.
Yeah. And there, you know, so again, I said there's 3 options for the 10K. We got the B2 version. The B3, I believe the only difference was wider tires. So the wide tires, the only need I would see is if you're on loose ground, you need traction.
Yeah.
Hopefully not sand, because boy, that'd be scary. But maybe
if
grass,
you're on,
so you're not tearing up as much.
Maybe, but so the wider tires would spread out more, and they always say like the looser your ground, your surface is, the fatter the tires you need, because then the tires will stay above the surface better. It's kind of like bikes. Bikes are the same way. The reason you get fat tire bikes is so that you can go on, you know, any kind of terrain. Yeah. Right. I mean, I think that could translate easily. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe I'm way off. Maybe I don't know. But maybe that's a good assumption. So what else? Anything else?
I'm done with you guys.
Oh, sorry.
No, I mean, it's that simple. I mean, we spent more time probably than it took to move the trailer in the first place. Doing this, we spent more time.
Well, I think, I think also the funny thing is that we were nervous about using it the first time. And so we've had it in the garage for 3 weeks, 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. And we keep looking at it, keep looking at it.
Well, I wanted to post a video the first weekend, and I told a bunch of people I would, but then we had our deck painted, so all of our deck furniture was in the driveway.
Everything, yeah. And so we couldn't really,
And then it's been, you know, in the high 90s for the last 2 weeks here.
Oh.
You'll see in the video I'm sweating a little bit.
Yeah, they already saw that.
Oh, right. You already saw that. Was I sweating?
Yeah, because it's still today, it says 88 degrees. It's just 10:30, and it's going to get up to 98 degrees today in Maryland. That's crazy.
Good times.
Yeah, people are just losing their minds. Anyway, so that has nothing to do with the Park at 360.
Yeah, no, we're just...
now we're just rambling. Sorry. You know, it's just what it is.
It's what happens when you have coffee.
Well, and, you know, the older you get, the more you just ramble about nothing.
Yeah.
So, but which is fine. I mean, you know, you're watching, so.
Yeah,
hopefully you're still watching. Oh my goodness. So.
If you have any questions, put a comment below. I'll give you my honest opinion. You know, this is only the first time I may run into some issue, and quite honestly, if I run into an issue, I'll let everybody know, because, I mean, that's how we all learn.
Pretty much, yeah. We all learn from each other. Yeah. If there's something that you want to share about it, put it in the comments. If you have not already, please subscribe. Hit the bell so you can be reminded of the next video, which would be great. And
thanks for being our guest.
Yeah.
See you guys.
Bye.